Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, a lot happened yesterday. Can you just fill us in on exactly what we know is in the bill at this point, Mr. Secretary?
Good. Well, good morning, and it's good to be with you. Let me just be clear on the president's priority in the bill. And as you know, this is a negotiation, so we need both Republicans and Democrats' support. But we are on the same page with the Republicans. We've had very good meetings over the last few days. The president's priority is about kids and jobs. We need to be able to get kids back to school safely. The Democrats had $100 billion in their HEROES Act. We've increased that to $105 billion. Some of that money will be dependent on schools reopening and money used so that it can safely reopen. If schools and jobs are going to open, we need to make sure we don't have frivolous lawsuits. And I think, as you know, we have the enhanced unemployment insurance that's expiring next week. So that's a priority. We need to respond to that. As we've said before, we're not going to continue it in its current form because we're not going to pay people more money to stay at home than work. But we want to make sure that the people that are out there that can't find jobs do get a reasonable wage replacement. So it will be based on approximately 70% wage replacement. And we're also going to have a lot of tax credits to incentivize companies to hire people. And then finally, just let me say, you know, there's a lot of bipartisan support for extending the PPP. I've had conversations with Cardin and Rubio, and we want to have second checks for companies whose revenues are down 50% or more and need more money, small businesses, to get people back to work.
There's $16 billion for new funding for testing, and the White House is okay with that now? Is that done?
Well, it's $25 billion of total for testing, which we've agreed on, because there's $9 billion that's left over, and there's a $16 billion top-up. So there's $25 billion available. And we're going to make sure that all the states that need to test people, particularly nursing homes, schools, and other things, where people feel comfortable with lots of testing, we're going to make sure we have that.
We hear again and again and again about that there's remaining residual tension between the White House and the president and Senate Republicans on the payroll tax provisions, tax cuts. Where is that?
Let me be clear. We think the payroll tax cut is a very good pro-growth policy. But the president's focus is he wants to get money into people's pockets now because we need to reopen the economy. One of the issues I think you know about the payroll tax cut is people get that money over time. So the president's preference is to make sure that we send out direct payments quickly so that in August people get more money. There's no question this worked before. Retail sales was up year over year, 1%. People went out and spent that money in small businesses, and that's having a big impact in the economy. So as I said, it's all about getting money now for kids and jobs.
Sounds like then it's not going to be in the bill.
It won't be in the base bill, but again, as we roll out new things, and again, this is CARES 4.0, there could be CARES 5.0.
Okay. There's news, I guess, that came out separately from what, some of the things you were talking about. Now, is Mitch McConnell on board with this, or are there really a handful of bills, as you were just alluding to, I guess, maybe a 4, 5, and 6 or something? Is that the way it's going to progress?
Well, the process is there are individual bills for all these different programs. Mark Meadows and I were working late last night with Mitch and his staff, and we'll actually be speaking to them as soon as I get off the show this morning. So we just need to make sure we see all the final agreements and the final language. Mark and I met with the appropriators last night and reached an agreement on the appropriators numbers. But as you know, there's a lot of text that goes back and forth.